Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Jessica Freeburg will be along shortly. Here's the deal. Today, our guest had to actually take a bit of a powder this week. He'll be with us next week. The book Shadow Men is what we were supposed to cover today. However, our guest does have a little bit of cold. He's a little bit underneath the weather, so we are going to take a flyer on him. He'll join us next week, and we'll cover that book Shadow Men next week. So what we're going to do is we're going to have an expanded version of Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals this week. It is a holiday week after all, so we'll still entertain you this week. We'll still get into it, but do a little bit of an expanded version of Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals this week. And then next week, we'll pick it back up with our true crime interview for next week. So without further ado, here it is. It's time now for Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
You know what I'm about to say. It's that time, the time you've all been looking forward to. It's time now for Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals. You've been looking forward to it all week. I know you have. Being that it's a holiday week, it's a holiday edition of this thing. We have Jessica Freeburg, our co-hostess that we brought in today. Jess, here's what we're going to do. It's one of my favorite holidays of the entire year. It's that holiday that not only we celebrate our freedom, we're going to do it the way most Americans do it. We're going to start by attempting to blow off a body part. And we'll end it by celebrating our freedoms the way some people will do it this 4th of July weekend in our Not Safe for Work section of the program. And we will celebrate it vicariously and raunchily, if that's a way to put it. Am I using my words, Jess?
Is raunchily a word? I don't know, but I like it. So it's a word today.
Good. Because by gosh, we're going out in style. That's the way of putting it. And of course, if we're going to celebrate the way most Americans are wont to do, let's start it in Florida. You want to?
Oh, please.
Mm-hmm. Why not? I might even start with this here accent right here. Because it is appropriate to start with that accent when you hear this next story, Jess. You ready for this?
I think so.
We're starting with a battle.
Okay.
And I think we should. Being it's a 4th of July week.
That's right.
We're gearing ourselves up for the weekend already. I know it's only Tuesday, but hey, I'm. Do you see these fingers right here? I know most people can't see it; it's audio. But you see these fingers here? They're itching to get a hold of something explosive.
Okay. And
we have something explosive right away. A Florida man is accused of shooting down a Wal-Mart delivery drone. I don't know about you, Jess. I do have W+. They don't deliver by drone yet here in the Twin Cities area. Probably a good idea. They probably should still use delivery people in Florida. Just saying. This is probably why. Because there are plenty of armed people, especially out in the outer regions of Florida. Yes. I'm just saying, drones sometimes can produce a scary image. Right?
Did he think it was a UFO?
Maybe. This gentleman is 72 years old. I'm gonna give you a quick look at what this guy here looks like. See, right here.
Oh, bless his heart.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, bless his heart. Right. So, 72-year-old Dennis Wynn is, let's just say, sitting at the trailer. Not that I'm casting aspersions. I'm just saying there's a lot of trailers in Florida.
There is.
Yeah. We'll just say maybe he's sitting at the trailer. He's made himself a little W+ delivery. I do it. I do it at home. I have my stuff delivered by W+. It's good service. I get, that's how I get a lot of my my peanuts for the chipmunks, which, by the way, Indy he's eaten me out of house and home. This kid goes through a 5-pound bag of peanuts once every 2 weeks now.
Wow, he's like a growing teenage boy.
He is. Essentially. I mean, he's probably about 10 weeks now, but he's packing it away. He's like his mama. His mama did the same thing to me. He's doing the same thing
His
to me.
mama packed it away too.
Oh, God. Horrible. Anyways, I digress. 72-year-old Dennis Wynn is sitting there at the trailer in Florida. And he says, think I'll get me one of them orders from that there Wal-Mart. Right? Mm-hmm. Orders up the W+. Suddenly forgets that he does the order. And it must have been something light because they figured they can send a drone. He thinks a human's going to come to the door, right?
Okay.
He says, good God, Margaret, there's one of them there giant skeeters coming to the door, and it looks like it's stealing my Wal-Mart bag. Get Scooter the Shotty. Which is, I guess, is what he calls his shotgun. I think Skeeter the Shotty or Scooter the Shotty, one or the other, right? So he goes, get Skeeter the Shotty. And, of course, he's got birdshot, buckshot, birdshot, buckshot, I think is how they do it, right? Because you want a pepper, then you want business, then you want pepper, then business. If I remember right, that's how it goes when you, right? Isn't that how it goes?
It sounds about right to me. Yeah.
Okay. So he probably didn't mean business right away when the alien came to get his package from Walmart off the front step. At least the way Dennis is looking at it, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Let's read the story. We'll find out. So 72-year-old Dennis Wynn is facing firearm criminal mischief charges for going after Walmart's drone. He was arrested last Wednesday in Lake County, Florida, and is accused of rendering thousands of dollars in damage to a drone that he shot as it attempted to make a delivery for Walmart. 72-year-old Dennis Wynn faces charges of shooting or throwing a deadly missile into dwellings, vessels, or vehicles, criminal mischief above $1,000, and discharging a firearm in public or on residential property, according to records. Walmart in 2022 announced it was rolling out drone deliveries in Florida via Drone Up, which I'm guessing has had a lot of damage in Florida. Just saying. By the way, Drone Up is a Virginia-based commercial drone services company that partnered with the supermarket giant in 2021, albeit probably reluctantly now, I'm just guessing, penning a news release to express hopes the effort would influence the expansion of drone technology and enable other businesses to explore its benefits. I'm guessing now there's probably not a lot of benefit to that relationship. I'm just guessing. And maybe you probably want to pull out of Florida, much like some other technology companies. According to Wynn's arrest affidavit, a 2-man drone-up crew was at a delivery point in the overlook at Lake Louisa neighborhood when the shooting occurred. So they do, this is interesting now, Jess. So they do bring a manned crew with, so they fly the little drone up with the package.
So interesting.
Right? I guess in case they have to go in and like some sort of triage team and in a war situation, they have to recover their drone.
Like, how is that actually saving them time if they have to have a 2-man team delivering with a drone when they could probably just have a delivery guy roll in and drop it off at the front door?
Right. It's probably cheaper to do it that way, right?
I don't know.
You would think. So the document noted that the crew was there campaigning for Drone Up, which in this case was to include a proof of concept mock delivery to their location. Okay, so that makes sense. The drone was around 230 feet in the air when it arrived, descending to around 75 feet when one of the crew members heard what they thought was a gunshot. Can you imagine that? Two guys are sitting around and going, yikes. You don't think. And then the other guy turns to the other guy and goes, yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we better check on Skeeter, our drone, because I'm imagining everything in Florida is named Skeeter, right?
Everything's named Skeeter.
Yeah. And then, of course, they go to check the cameras and everything's dead. And they're like, oh, no, we lost another one.
It happened again.
They're going to take this out of our paycheck. So they heard a gunshot, according to the affidavit. Both the crew and the drone raced back to the Wal-Mart at US 27 and Johns Lake Road, where deputies responded at around 6 p.m. after the crew members reportedly found a bullet hole in the drone's payload system. So Dennis is a good shot.
He is. Good for him.
Yeah, right between the little drone's eyes. Poor Wally. I'm imagining it's either named Skeeter or Wally, one or the other, right?
Probably both.
Well, it works for Wal-Mart. It should be Wally. I mean, you would think, yeah. A deputy made it back to the neighborhood, making contact with Wynn. Evidently, murdering a drone is not an emergency, so they can just make sure that it's fully dead, and then they'll go back and arrest Wynn. And they can take, lunch first and then come back. It's not like when a drone bleeds out, they need to resuscitate it or anything.
Yeah, there's not much you can do.
Yeah. So that deputy made it back to the neighborhood, making contact with Wynn in the 11300 block of LeMay Drive and asking if he had any incident with a drone. So it was a lot like this. It was this. Mr. Wynn, we have a question for you. Do you see any of them there flying machines coming in with your package by chance? Started out about 230 feet, came down to about 75 feet. It was coming down with your package, big old bag with your hemorrhoid cream and some other things. When it was about to approach to your doorstep, you didn't by chance take out a shotgun and shoot that son bitch. Something like that.
That's exactly how I see it in my mind.
Yeah, I kind of imagine that's how it went. Wynn allegedly said he used a 9mm handgun to shoot a drone that flew over his house as he was working on his pool pump. Jess, help me out with this scenario, please. You're out in the backyard. You got an issue with your pool. And, Jess has a puppy with her right now. So if you hear someone else comment on the story besides Jess, you'll know who it is.
Or licking sounds. It's not me.
Yes, it's not Jess. Really, really turned on by a story of a guy shooting a drone. Let me give you one of those. So help me out with this, Jess. So you're in the backyard. You have an issue with your pool. Your pool isn't circulating water. And you go, I need to go out and work on the pool pump. Just in case there's either A 75-foot anaconda in the backyard, or B, rebels jump into my backyard and decide to take over my in-ground pool, I may need a weapon. Do you see the need for the 9mm handgun in the backyard right away?
I feel like this guy probably travels with one all the time.
Okay, all right.
Probably just shoved in his underpant waistline there. Even if he doesn't have pants on, he's got his 9mm.
Right, in case he wants to, shoot little Denny off. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. In case you need to stand your ground in the backyard for some reason, he has it.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so there's Denny in the backyard with his 9mm fixing the pool pump. I can't see why I'd need it, but okay. And he says he was recounting past experiences with drones that he thought were surveilling him. So
little paranoia.
Yeah, Denny's a little
mixed with the gun.
Yeah, not a good mixture. He says that to the cop who puts it in the affidavit. While waiting for a transport vehicle, Wynn allegedly yelled out to a neighbor that he was going to jail for shooting a drone. So he's just letting the neighbor know so they can watch the property.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Millie, I'm going to jail for shooting a drone. It's all right. Don't freak out or nothing. The shooting incurred some $2,500 in damage to the drone, with the crew noting business operations would also be impacted due to the aircraft being rendered inoperable, according to that affidavit. Wynn was booked later that evening and released Thursday afternoon after posting how much, Jess, in bond? I love playing this game. Now, keep in mind, $2,500 damage to the drone. $1,000 drone. That's it. How much to get sprung for having that 9 mil in the waistband while fixing the pool?
Yeah, I feel like it has to be under 1,000. So I'm going to go with like 500.
It's a good guess. We're going to go with $13,500 for the whole incident.
What?
Yeah, in the backyard. Yeah. So there you go, Denny. Next time you'll shoot your eye out. Just remember that while you're out there working on the pool. Didn't we learn anything from A Christmas Story?
Apparently not.
No, evidently not. So with that, we'll move on to our next story, which you think would be a story from Florida based on the headline. But no, we're going to Colorado, where we're celebrating the 4th of July with another age-old story, which would be removal of a body part.
Uh-oh.
A man is arrested for chasing another man with a machete in Pueblo, Colorado.
You sure this isn't Florida?
No, it's not a Florida story, Jess, but I figured we needed a machete story on this sacred week of our independence. Because it seems like it's now an American story. So
I think it is, weirdly.
Yeah. The Pueblo Police Department has arrested a man for allegedly chasing another man with a machete, because it is oddly American now. On Wednesday, June 26th, responding to the 3400 block of O'Neill Avenue, upon arrival, officers learned that the suspect, Josiah Velasquez, had called the victim the previous evening and said he needed a place to sleep. How a machete gets into this, I have no idea. PPD says that the next day, the victim told Velasquez that he needed to leave. Velasquez then allegedly brandished a large knife, or the machete. Danny Trejo would be so proud. At the victim and chased him out of the house and down the street, all while threatening the victim. The victim ran to the area of O'Neill and Gladiola, where he was able to call the police. According to PPD, which, by the way, is not a hip-hop trio from the 90s. Velasquez then barricaded himself in the victim's home and began breaking property and threatening police with large knives. Never a sound plan. SWAT and negotiators responded to the scene, and after a long standoff, PPD was able to obtain a search warrant for the home and an arrest warrant for Josiah Velasquez. Upon entry to the home, SWAT found Velasquez passed out and successfully took him into custody. Because you can only swing that heavy knife so long, Jess, before you pass out.
Your arm gets tired really quick with machete.
It's so tiring. You need a nappy poo. I'm just saying. After a medical clearance, Josiah was booked into the Pueblo County Detention Center for felony menacing, I love that charge, restraining order violation and criminal mischief. So there you go. And that was in Pueblo, Colorado. That wasn't in Florida.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah. You know, in the last few weeks, Jess, we've read stories about how the COVID, I guess you want to call it the COVID phenomena, the COVID menace, the COVID epidemic has led to a lot of scams, and how all these scams are coming out into the light over the last year or so.
Yeah.
Well, we got a heck of a one to report on this week.
And it's not in Minnesota?
It's not in Minnesota.
Shocking.
This one is Philadelphia by way of Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. A Philadelphia woman allegedly used stolen $184,000 COVID relief check to pay for, of all things, a butt lift.
What the heck?
I love this story. I'm going to try and give you just a little bit of a picture of this woman. She doesn't, I'm not being racist here. She doesn't look like she necessarily need a butt lift, but maybe she's a little flat on that side.
Maybe she is, and she's self-conscious of it. I understand.
Yeah.
I think you can do squats for that, though. You can get your butt bigger just by working out.
Now, see, that's you would think, but you only get, now, not saying I've studied this, and normally this would be a not safe for work topic, but you can only get so much lift out of working the gluteus maximus.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. My friend Alexa, she's been doing this workout, and all of a sudden, the last time I saw her, I was like, dang, girl, look at that butt. It's like...
Really? Now, see, in the interest of science in this show, I may have to look. I'm just saying.
I'll just send you a picture.
Yes, I'll
make sure she listens to this and she sends you a picture.
I'll need some...
It looks awesome.
I'll need some before and afters, if I can. Yeah. Just saying. I mean, it's science. Jess. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In the name of science.
In the name of science and the interest of the show and the listeners. I'll need to see. Right. We move on to Philadelphia, where a Philadelphia woman is facing felony charges in Florida after investigators say she stole a COVID-19 relief check and went on a spending spree before she got caught. Listen to how incredibly stupid this is. Again, this is Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals, and she has raised the bar on stupid. Okay, so court documents obtained by WPLG say that Ashley Stibbins Parker created a City of Weston LLC bank account in Georgia so she could deposit the funds back in 2021. A $184,838.72 check was issued on February 12th of 2021 by the Broward County Board of County Commissioners and was later mailed to Weston City Hall at 17200 Royal Palm Boulevard. Now, the money was allocated through the Federal CARES Act, which is meant to go from government to city and is meant for city purposes, right?
Wow.
But authorities say the check never made it there. The money was deposited on March 15th, 2021 into a Bank of America account in Sandy Springs, Georgia, under the name City of Weston LLC. Now, this account was opened up on March 12th, 2021, according to investigators. Days before the funds were deposited, Stibbins Parker is accused of filing a fraudulent certificate of organization with the state of Georgia for City of Weston LLC.
That's crazy. How do you just open a new town?
Right. Or just an LLC for a city.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Okay. So she's made herself an organization for the city. Now, the address on the account was the legal address on the Weston City Hall in Florida. So she's claiming that the LLC is at the city hall. So it doesn't look suspicious. How do you say was she able to control everything? Well, documents say that Stibbins Parker was listed as a registered agent and organizer with addresses in Atlanta and Philadelphia, where she has a registered driver's license. Before investigators caught on to the scheme, Stibbins Parker is accused of spending hundreds of thousands of dollars using cashier's checks, cash withdrawals, Zelle debits, which Zelle, it turns out, is a hell of a way to launder money.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. That's how the people in the schemes up here in Minneapolis were doing fraud as well. And a MasterCard tied to the fraudulent account. So there's a MasterCard on the account as well. On March 30th, 2021, she allegedly spent $6,250 on a Brazilian butt lift at a Miramar Plastic Surgery Center in Broward County using the stolen funds.
Wow.
So if your friend is interested, evidently, I'm just saying, if the squats aren't working.
Oh, they're working.
Oh, I trust they are. But in an emergency, Broward County has a special on in a Miramar Plastic Surgery Center, only $6,200.
Seem like a bargain.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's Brazilian. I mean, the back matches the front if that's the way you're going. I'm just saying. Police say she also went on several plane trips, booked hotel rooms, went on a luxury shopping spree, and sent thousands of dollars to several people named in the arrest warrant. Oh, so there's accomplices. According to court documents, the total estimated loss to Bank of America was $131,888.22. Yikes.
It's no small change.
No. It remains unclear how Stibbons Parker got her hands on the check or if anyone else is facing charges in connection with the scheme. Stibbons Parker was arrested in Maryland and appeared before a judge on June 14th. She was later extradited to Florida. As of last week, on Friday, she remains behind bars at the Broward County Jail on $200,000 bond. She is, on $200,000 bail. She is facing several charges, including organized fraud, money laundering, and first-degree grand theft. So, and by the way, this is a full picture here of Ms. Stibbons Parker right there.
Okay.
So, the moral to the story here, Jess, is this. If you're going to steal money in a COVID scheme, use it for something constructive. A Brazilian butt lift is not constructive. Just saying. It's not all that constructive. Let's get to more traditional crime, shall we, on this holiday week? I believe this is a Goyard-toting woman explodes on police over a vape in a meltdown caught on video. This sent in by one of our listeners. By the way, if you have a story for us, for Dumb Crime Stupid Criminals, just send it in to tim@darknessradio.com. We'll be glad to get it on the air here. And I have to think, we have a lot of listeners that send in stories every week, and occasionally I thank them individually. We have a lot of people who individually send them in on a weekly basis. We've got Jim and Tony. Jeff sends them in. Lots of people sending them in on a weekly basis. So I want to thank each and every one of you guys. You guys are amazing. A viral video taken on a New York City subway platform appears to show a woman snapping at police after they purportedly told her to put her vape away and asked for her ID. The undated clip was recorded at an above-ground subway stop in Brooklyn, according to the Instagram account that shared it. The unidentified woman clenches her fists, screams at officers, waves her hands, and stomps her feet during the 45-second video. The woman carrying what appears to be a Goyard bag. Have you heard of Goyard bags before?
No, it sounds like one of those big things you get on your neck, like a goiter. Like
Yeah.
Never heard of a Goyard bag.
No. The Goyard bag, by the way, costs upwards of $1,600.
What? It must be a fancy. I'm not fancy, so I don't know fancy brands.
I don't either. I don't have one, so to speak, I guess. And wearing designer sneakers, repeatedly curses at two NYPD officers and tells them that she doesn't have an ID with her. The officers' voices cannot be heard, but one of them appears to be trying to explain something as he speaks and makes hand gestures, his back to the camera. She says, "I don't have ID on me. What the F do you want me to do?" she asks before she balls her fist and shouts in the officer's face, "I don't have ID."
What an angry woman.
I know, right? Then she starts swearing at him and he pushes her back, prompting more shouting. After she screams that one of the cop is a bastard. That's kind of toned down for,
gotcha.
After she's been, lighting him up, The two officers place her hands behind her back and search her bag. "What the hell are you doing?" she asks as they secure her arms behind her back. "Why are you doing this to me?" One of the officers then reaches into her bag and pulls something out, possibly an ID, before the clip ends. Text over the video reads, "Let's see what happens if you smoke electronic cigarettes on the subway platform." The NYPD declined to comment. According to New York City's Metropolitan Transportation Authority, travelers are not allowed to use cigarettes or e-cigarettes on any MTA property, including on outdoor platforms. The punishment for all of this, Jess, is a $50 fine.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Wow.
Which makes me wonder why all the harassment.
Well, I mean, how would you react if a police officer came up and asked you to put your vape away? Not saying you vape, I don't vape, but if they came up and asked me to put my vape away, I would just be like, okay.
Yeah, I just put it away.
And
yeah, it wouldn't be a big deal. Yeah.
What a weirdo to get so mad.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on. This is an interesting story. It kind of combines our two worlds here. It combines Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals, True Crime Tuesday, and the paranormal.
Ooh,
I'm
intrigued.
Yeah, interesting little story. We're going back to Florida, where a Ruskin woman was robbed at gunpoint by a fortune teller who used her services as a ruse, according to deputies. We go to Tampa, Florida, where a fortune teller was arrested after she allegedly used her services to rob people, including a woman who was held up at gunpoint in Ruskin last month. This according to a search warrant from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. 52-year-old Carola Mitchell is facing several charges, including robbery and kidnapping with a firearm, after she reportedly stole $12,000 from a woman on May 16th. The robbery occurred at a home on South Star Drive. Deputies said Mitchell went to the victim's home and asked her where she could buy Mexican food and if she could come inside for some water. After the woman let her inside her home, Mitchell pulled out a handgun, put the weapon against the victim's back, and told her to give her some money. Mitchell followed the victim to her bedroom and made her open her purse. She took $12,000 and left the home. Who keeps $12,000 in their home?
I think I have $20 in my purse.
Right. I think I might have $25 in my house.
Dang, that's crazy.
That is crazy. Deputies said security cameras at a nearby home captured a white Nissan Rogue leaving the area around the time the robbery occurred, and that the driver matched the victim's description of Mitchell. They obtained more surveillance video from area businesses that showed Mitchell driving the Nissan. About a month later, on June 10th, Mitchell was seen driving the Nissan in Bradenton and was arrested shortly after. Investigators say Mitchell had been using her fortune-telling services as a ruse to gain entry into victims' homes where she would steal cash and jewelry. Mitchell told deputies she keeps her phone on her at all times, so they requested a warrant to search the device. Investigators suspect the phone has evidence proving she was at the victim's home during the robbery and that it may contain messages from other victims. Interesting stuff. There's all kinds of ways to get over and try and rob people, but to use that particular ruse is just cruel and unusual.
I think so too.
Yeah. We've got the dumbest of all dumb crimes this week, Jess, and it has to do with using fake IDs. This man this week was arrested for using a fake ID to bond his friend out of jail, who, by the way, was arrested for using fake IDs. It's the ultimate in dumb crimes and stupid criminals. We go to Covington, where a man was arrested this past Monday, a week ago Monday, after he allegedly used fake IDs and information to make purchases at several, I believe it says, St. Tammany Parish stores. Later that same day, his believed accomplice was also arrested for using a fake ID to try and bond him out of jail. Oh, people. St. Tammany Parish deputies were called to a Covington area store to arrest a man later identified as Renandenson Parfait. That's his name. He's 34 years old.
What a name.
Renandenson Parfait. I ordered one of those at Dairy Queen the other day. It was absolutely delicious. By the way, Renandenson comes from New York. Parfait is accused of having made several purchases around the parish using fraudulent cards. He was booked for access fraud, 10 counts of bank fraud, identity theft, and unlawful production of fraudulent documents. After Parfait was booked, his believed accomplice, 40-year-old Alan Artist, boy, these sound like fake names, also of New York. Don't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Alan Artist allegedly attempted to bail Parfait out, also using a fake ID. Artist was also arrested for injuring public record, possession of a fake ID, obstruction of justice, and resisting an officer. I didn't know injuring public record was a charge.
I didn't either.
Yeah. When deputies searched Parfait's vehicle, they also found more than 70 fake credit cards.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah. The St. Tammany Parish's Sheriff's Office believes that Parfait has been committing these crimes in several states and is wanted in other jurisdictions. Interesting story. But yeah, fake ID to get out a guy who's been arrested for fake IDs.
That is a bad idea, my friend.
Yes, it is. Bad idea on top of bad idea never gets the job done. Just saying. We'll move on. Now, Jess, what is the worst thing you can ever think of? Would it be bad luck on top of good luck or good luck on top of bad?
I think bad luck on top of good luck. So you don't want to end with the bad luck.
True.
Right?
True. I think having good luck in Detroit and then getting bad luck on top of that is really bad luck and really just a shitty scenario. I've got that for you today.
Uh-oh.
First of all, I didn't know the MGM Grand had a casino in Detroit, but they do.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. The headline is, and kids, cover your ears. I know we're not in not safe for work territory yet, but here's the headline. This is bullshit.
That's the headline.
That's the headline. Detroiter sues MGM Grand for not paying out her $127,000 casino jackpot. $127,000, that is. Here's why, Jess, and it gets a little complicated. After decades of gambling at casinos across the country, winning, losing, Denise Ezel says she finally hit the mother lode. It was a $127,000 jackpot at a progressive blackjack table at Detroit's MGM Grand. She screamed. The gambler seated next to her high-fived her. Onlookers cheered. The dealer congratulated her. Then comes the buzzkill. The casino refused to pay her.
Why?
I know, 127 grand's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Right. I walked out of there penniless, recalled Ezel, who spent months trying to collect the winnings, but to no avail. So she sued. In a classic David versus Goliath tale that unfolded in U.S. District Court, the 65-year-old working-class Detroiter sued the casino giant this week, alleging MGM concocted a bullshit story, that's what she says, that's a quote, to avoid paying her winnings after years of taking her hard-earned money. The lawsuit stems from an incident that occurred on October 30th when Ezel and a friend ventured over to MGM in Detroit to try their luck at the tables. Ezel wound up winning the jackpot on a side bet playing progressive blackjack. But according to her lawsuit, after making her big win, MGM told her that she was trespassing and refused to pay her.
Wow, that's crazy.
Right. I had no clue as to what the hell they were talking about, Ezel said, noting she had been gambling weekly at MGM since 2015, and no one had ever stopped her, much less refused her money. Do you think I would have gone down there and spent my money for 8 years knowing I was trespassing? According to Ezel, a pit boss explained to her that the trespassing allegation stemmed from a 2015 incident when the casino accused her of panhandling and ordered her out of the building. As Ezel tells it, it was a huge mistake. What the casino considered panhandling was really her arguing with a cousin, not a stranger, over money at a blackjack table. She explained that the two had a deal when they would gamble together. When one started losing, the other would float them some cash to continue playing. But that night, her cousin wouldn't give her more money. An argument ensued, leading Ezel getting escorted out of the building. Is that the craziest thing you've ever heard or what?
That is bananas. I bet she's mad at that cousin now for not just giving her the money.
Right. A security guard then came up and said, "You're bothering this patron." Ezel recalled, I said, "That is my goddamn cousin."
She sounds like such a sweetheart.
Right? But the security guard persisted, according to Ezel, reportedly telling her, "You have to leave, you're panhandling." I didn't even know what the hell panhandling was, recalled Ezel, whose blood still boils when she thinks about that night. Perhaps more aggravating is the night that she finally won big, Ezel said, when a pit boss allegedly strolled over and told her, "I'm sorry to tell you, we're not going to pay you. You're trespassing." I said, what the F, recalled Ezel, who continued to protest after being asked to leave. I said, you know, this is some bullshit. As of Thursday morning, MGM had not yet been formally served with the lawsuit, but the Free Press provided the company with the copy, the Detroit Free Press, the newspaper there. No officials were readily available for comment. For Ezel, who earns a living wage working for the state of Michigan, doing administrative work, I have a feeling that this lawsuit is going to be on probably in her favor if she's working for the state of Michigan.
Yeah, and it kind of should be. I mean, they've been taking her money when she's been coming in there. They just don't want to give it to her now that she's won.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say a woman is panhandling and she's working for the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to find her as a character of good standing, and they're probably going to award her the money. She also has a daughter finishing up medical school. Whoops.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think they should probably settle with her. The $127,000 would have been handy, she said. She's not in dire straits, she noted, but that extra money could help her daughter pay off her six-figure loans. Besides, she argues she won that money fair and square. I just thought when you won, they would pay you, Ezel said, noting, when you lose, they take your damn money. As for the casino's alleged trespassing claim, Ezel said she had never been notified in any way, not by email, phone call, letter, or text message, that she had been prohibited from gambling at MGM Grand Detroit. She also said she recalls asking the security guard who escorted her to the door that evening in 2015. I asked, how long does this last? He said, maybe 24 to 48 hours, so I just left. I was pissed. About 2 weeks later, she returned to MGM, started gambling again, she said, and no one said anything.
Yeah, that's kind of shady on MGM's part.
That's right. I think MGM is about to lose 127 grand.
And her lawyer fees, I bet.
Yep. They're probably going to have to pay.
Should have just paid her up front.
That's right. That's right. We have a story here about a theft suspect who not only got Home Depot once, but twice. We're going to Stroud Township in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. He got caught the second time, Jess, but he went back for seconds. This is how easy it is, Jess, to go into stores these days and just walk out with merchandise.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy.
We're not talking about little merchandise here. Listen to the big items he got away with here.
Okay.
This is crazy. Police say they need help identifying a suspect after he allegedly stole 2 lawnmowers from Home Depot.
How do you just walk out with a lawnmower?
He just put it on a cart and walked out. And I have a picture of him here. This is how they're like, who's this guy?
Huh?
Talk about plain as day. That's a 4K camera.
Yeah. Yeah, someone's going to see him and recognize him for sure.
Right. And here's the kicker, he'll probably show up and do it again.
Yeah, that's pretty gutsy.
That's brazen, but he knows that the store's not going to stop him. And these are big, huge boxes. This is a 4-wheel dolly. And these are big DeWalt lawnmowers. They're push mowers, right?
Yeah.
So the suspect allegedly stole 2 lawnmowers from Home Depot. According to the Stroud Area Regional Police Department on June 24th around 4:54 p.m., officers were dispatched to Home Depot on Pocono Commons Drive for reported retail theft. Police say the man pictured first stole 2 DeWalt 21-inch push mowers valued at $1,198 a piece.
Wow.
Just walked in, put them on a cart, walked right out.
Yep. Just like a normal day.
Loaded them casually into the car, drove away.
Did loss prevention notice them and they just didn't do anything? Or did people just not realize what he was doing?
A lot of times they're told you can't stop them.
It's true. My son worked in loss prevention back a couple years ago for a couple different places. And one place they could stop them, but the other place they really couldn't do much.
Yeah. Because they're afraid of lawsuits.
Yeah, they could just kind of ask them to put the stuff back.
Yep. Officers stated the suspect tried to commit a second theft by taking a washer-dryer combo on display. However, he was stopped.
What the heck?
He went for more, Jess.
That's huge too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw this giant washer dryer on my dolly and walk out.
Yes.
Holy cow.
A washer dryer combo. Like he walked into the Price is Right and just started picking out the showcases, right? He's like, I'm going for the washer dryer combo next. Police noted the man then stole 2 DeWalt self-propelled push mowers valued at $1,398. He's like, no, if I can't have the washer dryer, I'm going for the mowers. We'll see you later. Officials say the suspect loaded the items on an older model Dodge Durango, so he had a truck. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Stroud Area Regional Police via their website. And the kicker is, and again, this is why prices continue to go up and up on things.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Because people can walk into stores and they can just load stuff up and leave. It's a moral thing. So
yeah,
there you
pay
go.
for your stuff, people.
That's right. Speaking of thieves, this one kind of is on the funny side. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
How much do you love chocolate?
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I found your soulmate. Although this is probably your crazier soulmate. A quote-unquote scumbag chocolate thief launches a bizarre I don't rob grannies rant after shoplifting the said delectable treat. Are you ready for this story? Stunned shoppers filmed a thief as he stuffed Kit Kats, Bounty, and Twirl bars into a hold all. This is, of course, overseas. When challenged, the brazen shoplifter tried to justify his actions by muttering, I don't rob houses, I don't rob grannies.
Well, that's nice of him.
Well, yeah, but, he's robbing stores of delicious, delicious chocolate bars. He then signed off with, goodbye, God bless you, before walking out of the store without paying. It was just the latest shocking example of the shoplifting free-for-all sweeping UK shops. The raid took place at a busy co-op in Kenley, South London, which has been targeted by a gang of crooks. I actually have a picture here of the actual crook who said goodbye, God bless, right there.
Boy, is he getting all that in there?
Yeah.
He's really taking a load.
When they say hold all, that's a pretty big bag, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He's filling it up.
Yeah, it's like the size of what we in America here would think would be a traditional doctor's bag, or like what would you say a hold all would be? Like the size of what?
I don't know. It's almost like a diaper bag. That's what my brain thinks.
Yeah, like a diaper bag. A video of the raid was posted on the Next Door website with the comment, 5-6 scumbags got off the train at Kenley and raided the co-op. Staff didn't even bother calling the police. Local resident 54-year-old George Catton said they were in and out and back on the train long before the police would ever get there. Well, Leela Ali said, it frightens me that people are so blatant and they have no fear of the law. In April, it was revealed shoplifting offenses are their highest in 20 years over in the UK. The Met Police and Co-op were asked to comment. I guess they didn't.
Yeah, we got to get that under control because it is a problem. I mean, people just take stuff and they know they can. They know they can get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, it's time now for our Not Safe for Work section. It's kind of lengthy today. I mean, it's at least 4 stories long. So we're going to give you a little time here to turn down your devices if you're at work and you're around the coworkers or bosses, or even put in your earbuds, or if you're, God forbid, you're around the kids this week. If they're home, of course they're home. They're away from school or summer school if you have really bad kids. Put in those earbuds. We'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right away, Jess, we're using really bad language, and we're going to tell you about a shitty situation. It turns out that a manure truck has crashed and drenches cars and homes with poop.
Oh, ew.
Yeah. Residents of Pomfret, Connecticut had a real oh shit moment when a manure truck rolled over before smashing a car and spraying poop over multiple vehicles and homes.
Oh, gosh.
A man told WVIT-TV it was like literally a waterfall of brown.
Oh, gosh. So disgusting.
The driver did suffer minor injuries. Workers from the trucking company have been on the scene all week cleaning up the mess. All right, we have an audio daily double on this story, and here's that story right now.
Now to a rather stinky situation in Pomfret. Last evening, a manure truck spilled after an accident at a tricky intersection. NBC Connecticut's Cindy Boyle brings us an update on the cleanup.
I heard bang, like bang, 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 loud metal.
Ann Bedard was inside her house when a truck transporting manure rolled over.
Oh, geez. Oh my gosh, the truck was upside down. You could literally see tires, and it was still kind of like in motion. And it finally came to a stop after it hit my neighbor's car.
On Tuesday evening, the truck rolled over at the intersection of Deerfield Road and Braman Hollow Road in Pomfret, spilling manure onto her and her neighbor's property.
Literally a waterfall of brown. All of a sudden, we see the sewer come out of the truck, and it was just flooded down our property.
First responders arrived at the scene and crews began cleaning up the mess.
They were able to remove a lot last night. We should be done with the cleanup in the next hour or two, and then by the end of day tomorrow, everything should be reloomed and seeded.
Everybody that came to clean it up, and the fire department, and those guys were here, it's cleaning up the road and everything. So I say kudos to all of them.
Diesel and hydraulic fluid spilled out of the truck, but the fire chief said it shouldn't impact the well drinking water.
Oh yeah, make coffee with it this morning. Had some iced tea.
And while she's glad her yard wasn't too impacted, she feels for her neighbor.
Unfortunately, that poor lady, she worked so hard on her property last week only to see it get swept away.
As for the smell,
we're all dreading coming here and smelling this. And even then, when it was fresh, there was hardly any smell in the air.
Everybody kept asking, is it really bad? Is it foul? And I'm like, no, seriously, the windows were open.
Cindy Boyo, NBC Connecticut News.
Do those people have no sense of smell? I mean, first of all, Jess, I know you couldn't see the pictures of it, but there was one white car that they kept focusing on.
Oh, gosh.
That was spattered brown, like a shotgun full of pudding through a screen door. That's the only way you could imagine looking at this white car. But this white car was just spattered brown everywhere. Like you could barely see that it was white underneath.
Ew, there's no way that didn't stink.
It looked horrid.
I mean, as a farm kid, I used to have to fill the manure spreader from the hog buildings, and that stuff smelled bad.
So I worked in small communities doing radio in the beginning of my career. There was, and I would lose 20 pounds from spring to fall. And you know why? Because as a city kid, when you work in farm communities and you get that heat that comes in, when the manure hits the fields, that's all you smell, right?
Yeah, smell of money, Tim. That's
right.
What my dad called it.
That's right. That's a smell of money. And that's what my program director would tell me. It's a smell of money, kid. Get used to it. And I'd be like, how do you people eat?
And I love how this lady made coffee. She's like, oh, yeah, I made coffee with it. Didn't even notice, the water, not the manure.
Yeah, right. And when I heard that video the first time, I just, I retched. I was like, how do you not smell that? My God.
Your smeller's broken.
Right. You have to be able to smell that. Speaking of things you probably are able to smell. By the way, folks, this is not a funny story at all. This next story is just gruesome.
Ew, I hate these kind. Then I laugh because I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know. This will be an uncomfortable laugh if there is one at all. We'll try to get through this one quickly. A Grimsby man is jailed for sexually assaulting dead bodies in a mortuary.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Damon Tingay punched the body of one man twice. I know you're not supposed to laugh at that.
He's just punching dead bodies too?
Yes, it's uncomfortable. That's the only reason I laugh. It's an uncomfortable laugh. And performed sex acts on two male bodies, according to the court. A Grimsby man, this is over in England, by the way, north of England, went on a rampage in a hospital mortuary, violently and sexually attacking bodies, and was told by a judge there was a very, very dark side to him as he was sentenced to 6 years in prison. He only got 6 years.
No, put him away longer. He's got so many issues.
Put him under the jail.
Yeah.
Right? I know, it's uncomfortable laughter, folks. We're not laughing about the situation. 30-year-old Damon Tingay broke into the Diana Princess of Wales Hospital in Grimsby in the early hours of the 17th of March and was caught on CCTV opening a number of fridges and interfering with the bodies.
Oh, man.
This is one of those cases, Jess, that people are going to be talking about for years. Years. He had spent 2 hours cycling through the hospital grounds evading security guards. Passing sentence, the judge, John Thackeray, KC, told him, when you thought you had evaded them, you entered the mortuary by forcing an external door. What happens thereafter is shown on CCTV. Footage played in court showed Tingay drinking from a bottle before opening the door to the mortuary, which had no lock and was held closed only by a magnet, the court heard. The CCTV footage of the depraved incident was shown to the judge in private during the hearing at Grimsby Crown Court on Friday. Tingay punched the body of one man twice and performed sex acts on 2 male bodies. A total of 10 bodies were disturbed by Tingay opening the fridges or removing their shrouds, the prosecutor Jeremy Evans said. The footage showed that 4 minutes into the attack, hospital staff caught Tingay and he was detained by security. Evans said that when Tingay was arrested, he was described as volatile, shouting and screaming, that he had done nothing wrong, and at one point claiming he had been blamed for a friend's suicide and was seeking answers. You don't seek answers that way.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to find the answers doing that.
No. In an interview with police, he said he had no memory of the incident. At an earlier hearing, the father of 3 pleaded guilty to the sexual penetration of a corpse. In statements submitted to the court, the mother and aunt of one of the people who was the victim of a sex act described the incredible pain when they discovered what had happened to a dear and precious loved member whose body had been disturbed when his drawer was open, said he had nightmares and had been traumatized by the fact that his brother's body had been disturbed in a place where he trusted he would be safe and at peace. Thackeray told Tingay, your actions were depraved, perverted, indeed utterly grotesque. You violated and defiled loved ones, causing immeasurable harm to numerous victims. You caused incredible pain and turmoil. The families may never recover. It only came to an end because you were disturbed by security staff. Had you not been disturbed, inevitably, there would have been more victims. There is undoubtedly a very dark, dark side to you. In a statement read in court, one staff member described walking into a horrifying scene with bodies strewn from their shelves and fridges open. She said, I've seen a lot in my career. This was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. It was the indignity, the lack of respect. I couldn't stop crying.
That's horrifying.
That is. Craig Lowe for the defense. I can't believe this guy had a defense lawyer.
Everybody gets one.
Everyone gets one, but yeah. Said Tingay apologized to the families for those he subjected to the degradation and humiliation through his obviously totally appalling behavior. He said it was clearly out of character for this friendly, kind, considerate man, and that Tingay had been having mental health problems at the time of the offending. Tingay will serve 6 years in prison, a further 4 on license, and has been given a lifetime sexual harm prevention order. Okay, we're going to wipe that out of our heads now and move on to the next story.
I feel like I need to cleanse my palate.
It's not going to be that much cleansed, but we are moving on to something a little bit still in the violent area, but we'll move off of that slightly. I give a moment of pause to go to this one. We go to, and there's a content warning on this deal too. We go to Colorado and talk about a 32-year-old woman who faces second-degree murder charge after mutilating a man's genitals.
Oh, no. Oh.
It's one of those holiday weeks. Well, you know, we're all blowing off something this week because of fireworks. This woman literally blew this guy. No, I'm kidding. No, not like that, Jess. Not like that. A 32-year-old pregnant woman from Colorado has been arrested and facing a charge of second-degree murder after allegedly stabbing her boyfriend on Tuesday, May 14th, Jess.
Oh, no.
Shenting Guo is being accused of cutting off her boyfriend's penis following an argument about whether or not he was the father of Guo's future child. I'm going to take a sidebar here, Your Honor, and saying if the parentage is in dispute, you probably don't want to lop off the dong yet.
Yeah, you're not going to get the answer that way.
No. And, you know, maybe you want to give the little one a brother or sister, you know?
Or at least a dad who's alive. I don't know.
Well, he's not now.
Nope.
No.
Oh, that's sad.
Guo was charged with 1 count of second-degree murder while in the heat of passion and 1 count of domestic violence, according to authorities. Authorities responded to a call on the morning of May 14th. And by the way, another sidebar here before we continue. Ladies, you know, ever since the Bobbitt incident, you think it's cute to lop off the old wiener. And you think, oh, he'll make it. Here's the deal. The old schlong-a-dong-dong-dong is connected to a lot of arteries.
Yeah.
That's a vital passageway. There's a lot of blood flow through that deal. I know some guys have cute little ones and some guys have gigantic little not little anacondas, but big anacondas. Doesn't matter the size of the package. What counts is the blood flow that's in it. And I'm giving a little bit of an anatomy lesson here, but the fact of the matter is, in that vital organ, there's a lot of capillaries.
Right.
And you can bleed out.
Yeah, it's kind of a miracle that Bobbitt guy survived.
Right. So here's the deal. Don't cut off the schlong. Don't do it. You're going to kill a guy. I mean, unless that's what you're going for.
Yeah, unless that's the goal. I mean, it's one way to do it, but...
That's the only way to do it, I guess. It's either the carotid artery in the neck or go for the schlong. One or the other. You're going to kill a guy.
Oh, my goodness.
Or in the heart. There's 3 ways. So, authorities responded to a call on the morning of May 14th regarding an unresponsive male at a Wood Spring Suites hotel. God, that is so ironic. I'm sorry. The guy got his schlong cut off at Wood Spring Suites Hotel. You gotta appreciate the irony in this story.
You can't make it up.
Do you think he woke up with morning wood?
I don't think he woke up at all, Tim.
Oh, come on, Jess! First responders found the man suffering from a knife wound, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. During the investigation, a suspect was identified and arrested. Shenting Guo, who is a 32-year-old female, was remanded to the Mesa County Detention Facility and charged with murder in the second degree. That according to the Grand Jury Police Department in a news release. The Mesa County Coroner's Office will be responsible for releasing the identity of the deceased after appropriate notification has been made. I'll tell you what they won't be identifying.
Don't say it.
Mm-hmm. According to the arrest affidavit, Guo explained her relationship with the victim to the police, including the romance and accusations of infidelity. Police say Guo stabbed the man in the leg during the argument. I think she missed his leg. I'm just saying. The affidavit says she said she was not trying to kill him, but admitted to stabbing him because she was so angry. Okay, if you're not trying to kill him, don't stab him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Stabbing's a bad idea if you're not trying to kill somebody.
Just yell, raise your voice, maybe throw something if you need to.
Punch him? Maybe a nice little shot to the arm? You know?
Yeah, I don't advocate any violence, but I feel like those are better options than stabbing him if the goal is not to make him dead.
Yeah, extreme pillow fight. Go that far. Yeah. Maybe if you're really, really mad, take a frying pan, hit him in the arm. Everyone's going to live. He's going to have a big bruise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Additionally, Guo told police she cut off the man's penis. According to the affidavit, she said the man didn't appear to be in pain.
Come on.
Oh, for the love of God. Really? He didn't appear to be in pain. So she went to the nearby city market and bought rubbing alcohol, antibiotics, and beer, but no bandages.
What? She thought she was going to go back and fix it? He was probably in such shock he couldn't even express his pain.
The affidavit also said Guo gave the victim ibuprofen water and greens, but his eyes quickly lost life.
Oh, that's so sad. This poor man.
I know what Ms. Guo's not going to do for a living. Nursing! Guo is being held at the Mesa County Detention Facility on a $1 million cash bond. My God. Ibuprofen?
Rubbing alcohol? Ouch.
Can you imagine pouring that into the wound?
God.
Here, honey, this'll stop it. Ah!
Oh, what a story. Yikes.
Tap dancing. Christ, that hurt. Our next story, Jess, if you're going to go all the way, I guess, is the moral to this story. Speaking of guys going out in style.
Oh, boy.
This has to do with a philosophy professor who lost his damn mind at the end of his life.
Okay.
This guy wanted to be Hunter S. Thompson, I think, at the end of his life. A philosophy professor was found dead at the bottom of a gorge, and he had extremely kinky sex contract with an escort. And he was about to be exposed at the end of his life.
Oh.
So I think he thought, you know what? We're just gonna look at this guy at the end of his life. He lost his damn mind at the end of his life. I can't wait to read this story. Talk about a guy who just decided, you know what? I'm gonna go out with a bang, I think. This guy it's kind of a sad story. A respected philosophy professor who plunged to his death amid an investigation over historical sexual assault allegations led an extremely kinky, illicit, drug-taking double life behind closed doors that, according to an escort who entered into a sex contract with the 77-year-old promising to make her daddy happy.
Oh, my.
Right? This guy definitely wasn't on the moral side of happy. We'll put it that way. Dr. John Forge, an honorary professor at the University of Sydney in Australia, who authored numerous books on morality and ethics.
Oh, goodness.
Not practicing what he preached, Jess, was found dead at the base of Cataract Gorge in, I believe this is Launceston on Tasmania, on May 2nd. Hours after a detective knocked on his door to request he attend a police station for questioning. Whoops. I think he was trying to get away. It's understood Dr. Forge was facing allegations of sexual assault dating from 2019 to 2022 in New South Wales, Australia, and Tasmania. He was about to be exposed, said Sydney-based sex worker Skylar Silverstein.
Ooh, that's a fancy name, too.
Fancy name, but the worst porn name ever. Ladies and gentlemen, Skylar Silverstein coming to the stage. I don't know. Ms. Silverstein said she had been in an 8-month financial arrangement with Dr. Forge after he became one of her clients in January last year. A handwritten contract outlined her duties to her dearest daddy, John.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Creepy.
Above all, she will do everything she can to make her daddy happy, the note reads. She will do this by being a good, obedient girl, but above all, she will love him and try to please him in any way she can. Her love is her greatest gift. Her daddy will have exclusive use of her body to do as she likes. He may introduce the activities set out under punishments simply because she wants to. She has a right to say what she wants, but daddy decides. Are you creeped out yet?
Yeah.
By the way, I have a picture of Miss Skylar Silverstein for you. Here's Miss Skylar Silverstein.
Woo.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't think she needed the old man with the bong. That's for sure.
Probably not.
No, she could have got any guy she wanted. In a disturbing role-play video sent to Miss Silverstein, Dr. Forge addresses the escort as if she were a student in one of his lectures. By the way, here's the two of them together. Do they make an uncomfortable couple to you?
Well, they kind of don't go together, but...
Yeah, kind of like peanut butter and ham. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. In a disturbing role-play video sent to Miss Silverstein, Dr. Forge addresses the escort as if she were a student in one of his lectures. I think you know why I'm sending you this message, he says. It is in view of your quite outrageous behavior in my last lecture. You came in dressed quite inappropriately. You had an extremely short skirt on, outrageously high heels. Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh. You sat in the very front row of my lecture, and I discovered that you were wearing no knickers at all. Oh, Dr. Forge, you're a bad, bad boy.
She was knickerless.
She was knickerless. So are the New York Knicks. Thank you. He continues, you crossed and uncrossed your legs in front of me. I could barely concentrate on my lecture. Not only that, your... Do I have to say this word?
You don't have to.
He says, your was completely bare, and on top of it was written the words in bright red lipstick, Daddy Professor, it's yours.
Wow, that's a lot of words on a small space. So first thought, how'd you get that many words in that small a space?
Well, maybe it's been used quite a bit. Just saying.
Bigger than I think. Okay.
Yep. Well, now in that case, I think you need to come to my office after my lecture tonight, and we shall discuss this further then. Either that, or Dr. Forge hasn't been around a lot of them.
Maybe not.
And his conjecture is a little out there. Just saying. Other videos seen by news.com.au show Dr. Forge smoking a bong and snorting lines of a white powder that appear to be cocaine. So much for morality and ethics on Dr. Forge's part. Originally from the UK, Dr. Forge was well known in philosophy and science fields and won the Australian Catholic University Eureka Prize for Research in Ethics in 2010. Wonder what the Pope has to say about all this. Just the retired multi-millionaire, that's right, kids, he had a lot of money, lived in Balmain in Sydney's inner west until moving to Launceston in January of 2022. The alleged victim's mother told the Daily Mail on Wednesday that the detective working on the case rang her at 3 p.m. on May 2nd to say she had just attended Dr. Forge's home. But just hours later, she received another call from police informing her that he had been found dead at the bottom of the gorge. So wait a minute, this guy's 77 and his mother is still alive?
I'm confused because he's facing some sexual charges against him from a couple years ago. Was that against students?
I think probably it is, yeah.
Right, because if this was his fantasy, there must have been some moments where he inappropriately behaved with students because clearly he...
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Yeah. A member of the public found his ID, phone, and keys on a pathway and phoned police, who then went and found him, she said. It happened within an hour and a half after the knock. He was living a double life and was about to be uncovered. Dr. Forge allegedly began grooming the victim and then began sexually assaulting her 5 years ago. He was absolutely obsessed with her, she said. It was creepy. It took a lot of guts to go to the police and make her statement. The alleged victim has a strong sense of justice. She added, while she was relieved her daughter would not have to go through a court case as charges were never laid. Bad choice of words. She alleged victim had said to her, he is never going to have his day in court. He is never going to have to pay her I'm sorry, he's never going to have to pay for what he has allegedly done. Ms. Silverstein told the publication she felt sick to her stomach after learning of the allegations. He seemed charming. He was well respected in various circles academically. He was an author. He wrote so many books, she said. But underneath, there were many skeletons in his closet that were about to be exposed. It is ironic. He wrote a book about the morals of weapons, but yet where was his moral obligations to this girl? Dr. Forge's impressive resume included stints at prestigious institutions, including Oxford, Cornell, and University College in London. He won 2009 David Harold Tribe Philosophy Award for his book, The Responsible Scientist, A Philosophical Inquiry. To cause harm unnecessarily, gratuitously, is to do moral wrong, he wrote on his website. The University of Sydney said it was concerned by the allegations against Dr. Forge. We're deeply committed to ensure a safe and respectful environment for everyone in our community, a spokeswoman said. We have a zero-tolerance policy to any form of intimidating or abusive behavior, including sexual misconduct. If any of our community experiences or witnesses such behavior, we urge them to get in touch so we can provide appropriate support and follow-up. Now, a Tasmania police spokeswoman confirmed officers responded to a concern for welfare at Cataract Gorge on May 2nd. Sadly, a person was located deceased at the scene, she said. There were no suspicious circumstances, and a report will be prepared for the coroner. So I am a little confused. There may be some students that are involved here, but I think they're talking about Ms. Silverstein here as well, that maybe he stepped over the line with her as well.
Yeah, it's all a little gray. It's a little murky. I can't quite tell who the charges of the sexual abuse are stemming from, because he's paying her, so she's a willing participant.
Right, but even in a paid contract, there have been incidents in a paid contract where you can step over the line. Because in a paid contract, you do still have boundaries. And you can, even though you have a paid contract with somebody, if you go over the stipulations of the paid contract, like you can rape somebody in a paid contract, even if it's for sex. Because once somebody says no, and it goes against the stipulations of a paid contract, even if it's a contract for fantasy.
Right.
And you push the boundaries of that paid fantasy contract and you rape somebody and they say no, even if it's a sexual contract.
Right.
And you take something that's beyond the borders of that contract, it's still rape. And you can be charged. It's a transactional contract. So if you agree to 9 times and you take 10 and that 10th time is not agreed, it's rape and there's a charge.
Right.
So, I mean, it's again, we have no idea as to what exactly he was about to be charged with, but obviously he knew he was going to be charged.
Yeah, he knew he was in trouble. That's clear. That's
right. Okay, so we're going to end today on a lighter note.
Oh, good.
Believe it or not, this is still a crime in some states. I wish I had a patriotic theme here, Jess, because really it's about freedom. And this week is all about freedom, right?
Right. Yeah.
Here we go. A 36-year-old woman has revealed the reason she flashes her breasts at popular tourist sites, adding if people don't like it, they should look away. We're talking about freedom here, Jess.
Oh, my.
Here we go. Flashing her breasts on the subway atop the Brooklyn Bridge and in the heart of Times Square isn't just a naughty hobby for Isla Adams. It's an act of advocacy. At least that's what she says. She's exercising her freedom. God bless America, Jess. She says if men can walk around shirtless without fear of reprisal, so too can women, argued the 36-year-old Canadian content creator. Oh, sure, she's not American, but she's exercising her rights. She spent the past 6 days granting New Yorkers a gander at both her boobs and her bottom in the name of gender equality. Do you want to hum some sort of patriotic theme while I read this? It's up to you. I mean, I didn't prepare any music or anything. I didn't want to get hit by BMI or ASCAP while I did this. You
have to get permissions for that.
Yeah, you don't have to. The blonde insisted it's normal to, not that I'm not disparaging hair color here, but it just says that in the article. She says it's normal to be nude. By flashing folks as I go about my day, I'm just having a bit of cheeky fun and challenging the status quo. And the flashing frenzy isn't just a flash in the pan. Knockouts both near and far have recently taken a liking to showcasing their knockers. That's what it says in here. I'm not saying that. I'm just reading. 25-year-old Ava Louise gave the residents of Ireland an enormous eyeful in May, revealing her ample endowment to virtual audiences of the since unplugged 24/7 live stream between New York City and the Emerald Isle. I thought the people of Dublin deserved to see 2 New York homegrown potatoes, said the OnlyFans model following her not safe for work spectacle. And Kate, who flashed her breasts during a May 31st hockey game, God love her, recently inked a deal with Playboy as the Oilers' good luck charm. Unfortunately, that came up short in the finals as the Florida Panthers won. There's only so much luck in a good luck charm, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah. But Adams, a broadcaster for Naked News from Toronto, yes, that's
a thing?
And it's still going. It has been for over 20 years.
Wow, Naked News.
Yeah. Claims her titillating displays are deeply rooted in justice. For over 30 years, it has been legal for women to go topless in New York City, which many women have embraced as a show of gender equality, she said, citing a 1992 New York State court decision. I think flashing is entertaining, added Adams, but it's also a way of normalizing toplessness. For me, it's a way of life, she says. A way of life, Jess. She added that all people should proudly publicize their privates.
Then they're not very private, are they?
No. They'd be Publix. And I think that's a supermarket in Florida. Just saying. Nudity has been such an important part of my life. I do not understand anyone who has negative feelings towards being naked, Adams groaned. There's a lot of groaning going on, I guess, when you got them out in public. I'm just saying. We're all born this way, she said, and we have to embrace our bodies. And we have to love everyone else's amazing bodies. We don't have to love them. I mean, we should probably leave them alone so they can eat lunch. Just saying. Her flashings, however, aren't always so empowered. I was flashing on an elevator and a man walked in while I had my leg up on the wall, recalled Adams.
My gosh.
My goodness.
What on earth?
She refuses to boast her bare breast in sacred places like cenotaphs in the 911 memorial.
Well, that's nice of her.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably keep some places sacred, right?
Maybe.
I would think so. He was shocked and I was embarrassed the rest of the ride down, she said of the awkward encounter. I would think, yeah, elevators, you probably want to maybe cover up a little bit.
What was she expecting? She had her leg up like that, though, and was like no one going to come in?
What are you stretching? I mean, in an elevator, are you getting your morning stretch in? But mortifying moments won't stop the self-crowned exhibitionist. She said, I've had some negative comments, but I don't let the haters get me down, said Adams. Most people don't even notice I'm doing anything, but if I do get caught, I'll get a smile, a thumbs up, and a laugh, she joked. Of course, I have a little bit of a let's just say an editorial at the end of this. She said, tits can light up a person's day. If you don't like it, don't look. That's what she said.
A great quote.
Yeah, that's how she ends the article. So here's my editorial, Jess, and that's this. Women, you have incredible power. Let's face it, men are a desperate lot. We go around in our days looking to women for salvation. We go to women in desperation. We live a pathetic life, and we're a pathetic lot. Let's face it, we walk around chasing balls, our own balls, sports balls, round spherical things. We chase tires, we chase cars. we don't have much of a brain. It's a simple brain, really. We don't have much of a life. You're pretty much our entertainment.
Yeah.
So if you want to do us a favor and flash what you got, we'd be grateful. If you would. It's a must. It's a must. Please flash us your bust. I mean, this week we have something to keep us occupied. We're going to blow our bits off. Whether it's our fingers, our toes, or our balls. We've got explosives this week. But after that, what do we have? We have nothing. Nothing! So please, bring us back to gentle places, gentle thoughts. Flash us some nips, if you will. That's all we ask. That's all I've got.
I think that's a good way to end the show.
Yeah, that's it for Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals today. I just made us a little dumber.
A little plea for the boobies.
That's right, a little plea for the boobies. You don't have to stretch it out in an elevator, by the way. I'm not asking for that. You know, I'm not. I'm not asking for total nudity here. I mean, and really, I'm not asking for only models to do this. I'm asking for anybody.
Just a little nip slip from the grandma walking down the street.
That's right.
Right.
If you're 90 and you haven't gotten it out of your bra in quite a while, it doesn't matter. Old guys need love too. Just saying. Jess, with that, stop me, please. I'm on a downward spiral.
No, you're on a roll.
I'm on a roll. The only roll I'm in is into traffic. I'm just saying. You've got 2 books right now on pre-sale on your website.
Yes. Yep. Yes, you can find them on my website. You can find them on Amazon. Always love a good pre-sale ahead of a release. There's nothing I can say right now that's not going to sound wrong.
I know. We just got done with the not safe for work part of our program. And also, you've got 2 events that are about to go up for the Palmer. Yes?
Yes, November and January. So.
All right. That's right. We've got some items that are about to go up here in the shop, too, as well, at darknessradioshow.com. Check those out. I think I'm going to post a blog about the chippers this week, too. Snowball and Indy. I may post video of Indy tearing through peanuts. I said peanuts.
That would be adorable.
I know. Indy's been going through peanuts like you wouldn't believe. So I may post video of that just because you won't believe the carnage this kid leaves on the front step. It's incredible. You guys have to see how he tears through peanuts. It's amazing. So that will be on darknessradioshow.com. Other than that, later on this week, boy, do we have a good week. We have Supernatural News tomorrow. And then on top of that, on Thursday, Les Velez from Opus joins us. And Les will be talking about trauma. We'll be dealing with trauma. Not just about trauma from UFO abductees and people who are suffering from paranormal experiences and extreme paranormal experiences, but we'll also be talking about trauma and fatigue in the paranormal community and trauma and fatigue from the public en masse about this entire deal with the Arrow meetings and just people dealing with the alien phenomena in general. You know, talking about everything that's been dealt with the Capitol Hill stuff, everything that's been dealt with paranormal media, and so on. So we're going to deal with trauma and fatigue having to do with aliens and the paranormal. It's all coming up with Les Velez, the head of Opus, coming up on Thursday right here on Darkness Radio. For Jessica Freeburg, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for joining us today on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday.